Alright, we're knocking out Block 15 today, guys. This is going to be the second of the 4 sections that I'll complete for Operation Chimera. Unfortunately, I didn't complete this with honors, and we'll talk about that in just a second because I'm not going to get it done in this tank. We need to do 3,000 damage to TDs, and if we want to get that secondary done, you need to do damage to 7 different enemy tanks, and you need to win the battle. Now, in a JAG 100, the likelihood of damaging 7 different tanks is actually extremely low. And here's my first damage on a TD. I saw that guy in the minimap just parked there. He was setting up to sneak a shot in. I'm comfortable trading shots with the Death Star in this tank, particularly when I'm going to take half his health away. So, coming back to the secondary, it's just not going to happen in this tank, right? The likelihood that you're going to get your 3,000 damage on tank destroyers and hit 7 different tanks in the match is just so low because the reload time on this tank is so long, the mobility on the tank is so poor, it's just not going to happen. The reason that I didn't do or intend to do the secondary is the reward for the secondary is a token to skip a mission and 350,000 credits. The credits would be nice, but the reality is I'm not skipping missions, guys. I want to record every single mission. I want to show you guys how to get it done. I want to help people get their tanks. And I think the best way to do that is to just do every mission with or without honors, because you can always go back and complete a mission with honors if you have to. On top of that, the right way to do this mission, if you want to complete it with honors, in my opinion, is to do it in a medium tank. And if you go back and watch my video on how to do MT-15 for the Object 260, the previous campaign, at the time that I did it, the requirement was 4,000 damage to TD, so 1,000 more than is required for this mission. And I think in that match, I did 5,500 damage to TDs, and I hit 8, maybe even 9 different tanks. So you can always go and watch that video to see how I did that, and it's still applicable, even though the maps are slightly different now. Obviously, the mission is slightly different. So if you want to get this done with honors, I highly recommend doing it in something like a STB or even the E50 or E50M in the German line. So, the reason that I chose this tank is I need 3 shots on TDs, basically, because I do 1,000 damage a shot. Right? So, I already got my 2 shots in. I'm just under 2,000 damage to TDs. So, I really just need one more high roll to get this mission done. And the TD that I want to do it against is down there. He's got a lot of armor, that 268-4. So I know it's going to be a challenge to penetrate his lower plate because the weak spot on that lower plate is so small. Plus, there's a Kronwagen off to the left there on the 4 line there that I just need to sneak past. I need to get past him so that I can line up a more accurate shot here on this 2684. One of the other characteristics that makes this tank so nice is you can take punishment and you can make moves like I did in the beginning that you wouldn't be able to do in some of the other tanks. Flood that shot right there. And every time I miss a shot, I'm increasing the odds that someone else is going to hit him. And at tier 10, it's going to take him below 1,000. And that would be a huge problem because the likelihood of me getting this mission is pretty low at that point. But the JAG 100, because it has tremendous armor, it has a good HP pool, is basically a heavy tank. And there we go. That's the shot right there to get it done. Lit him on fire as well. Now you can see I've only hit 2 different tanks. I'm not hitting 5 additional tanks with the reload that I have. So this really isn't the tank to do the secondary in. Maybe you could do it in a grill because of the rate of fire, but I would highly recommend you do it in a medium tank. And at this point, the mission's over for me. I got my primary objective. just going to rush in. Anybody that fires HE at me is going to kill me. I'm not worried about this. The team is obviously steamrolling. So it's just a question of getting the match over with, because I'm not going to get the secondary done. But this is essentially Block 15. It actually is a pretty easy mission. This was my second attempt to get this done, at least from a primary perspective. And there, the cron bottom from earlier takes me out. But this was actually pretty easy to do. If you're struggling with this, you can always turn on grand battles, because you're going to get 6 or 7 or 8 TDs in there. And just pick a mobile tank like the grill or something to move around the map. So obviously, number one is shift to where the TDs are. That should be your primary focus. You shouldn't care about any other tank. You should care about those TDs. If you are going to complete the secondary, use your downtime to get those shots in on other tanks. If a TD isn't lit, find another tank to shoot and then move on. If you need to, carry extra HE for that, because you don't care about the damage that you're doing to those other tanks. You care about whether or not you're doing any damage at all. So you saw that I had some HE loaded in the tank. Not that it really matters for the Jag E100, but if you're going to do this in a medium tank, make sure you have HE loaded, or you're carrying HE for the non-TD tanks. Fire off that HE shot and then move on. Don't even hang around to do more damage. Just move on, because that tank is useless to you at that point once you do any amount of damage. The other thing that you can do is, if you have friends at tier 10 that have tier 10 tank destroyers, platoon up with them and bring them along with you. Because as I said earlier, matchmaker's going to try to counterbalance what you're bringing. So if you bring a platoon of 3 tank destroyers, or a platoon of a medium and 2 tank destroyers, you're just going to increase the odds of having tank destroyers in the enemy team, and that's a big plus. Just ask them not to shoot at the tank destroyers to increase your chance of getting the tank destroyer HP pool. This is an easy one if you care about the primary condition. It's a little more difficult if you're focused on getting that secondary mission done, but I really don't think getting the secondary is as important in Operation Chimera, or even the second campaign in general, as it was in the first campaign and for the Object 260, because it allowed you not to skip individual missions, but to skip whole sections of missions. And so, yeah, it's nice to be able to skip a mission here or there, but for the most part, all of these missions are within reach and easy to do if you just have the right tanks or put a little effort in. So we have 3 missions left. We've got Alliance 15, Coalition 15, and one other Coalition mission that I don't recall what it is, maybe Coalition 14 or something like that. And we'll be done with this campaign, and we'll move on to the Object 279E. Good luck, guys.